morning, students. How are you all? Okay, what did we study in our last class? We had studied about multiplication of decimal numbers with powers of 10, 100 and 1000, right? With powers of 10. That is how to multiply decimal numbers with 10, 100 and 1000, right? So today in today's class we are going to study how to divide decimal numbers by 10, 100 and 1000. Okay, so I had told you in the last class that when we multiply some number, whether it is a decimal number, if it is a decimal number, if we multiply it by 10, 100 or 1000, then the decimal point gets shifted towards the right. Okay, so if we are multiplying some decimal number with 10, then the decimal point gets shifted towards the right side. But if we are dividing this same number, if 10 or 100 or 1000, then the decimal point gets shifted towards the left. Okay, so we will solve a few examples and see where the decimal point gets shifted. Okay, and how to divide decimal numbers as well as normal numbers without having a decimal point. Those numbers also how to divide by 10, 100 and 1000. Okay, so the first question is 7.8 divided by 10. Okay, so I write it as 7.8 divided by 10. Okay, so this is 7.8 divided by 10. So first I write the number as it is. Okay, so without the point I write the number 7 and 8. Okay, the number is without the point, the numbers are, the digits are 7 and 8. Now I have to shift this decimal point those many times to the left, which is equal to the number of zeros there. Okay, zeros in 10, 100 and 1000. Okay, so here in 10 how many zeros are there? There is only one zero, right? So we have to shift this decimal point towards the left by one digit or by one place. Okay, so when by shifting this point by one digit towards the left, the point will come here before 7, right? So the point will come here. Okay, and if there is no number before the decimal point, we put a 0. Okay, so this becomes what? 0.78, and there is only one zero down. In 10 there is only one zero. That is why we are shifting the point only one digit towards the left. Okay, if there are two zeros like in 100, we have to shift the point two digits towards the right. Okay, towards the left. Okay, so this is our answer. When we divide 7.8 divided by 10, we get 0.78. Okay, so this is the answer. Now the second number is 947. Okay, 947 is divided by 10. Here there is no decimal point in this number, right? So if there is no decimal point for some number, then where is it? It is at the end, right? So it is here. Okay, now if the decimal point is here, and if it is divided by 10, in 10 how many zeros are there? There is only one zero. So we have to shift this decimal point how many places towards the left? One place, because there is only one zero. So if this point goes one place towards the left, where will it come? It will lie between 4 and 7. Okay, so this becomes 9 remains as it is, 4 remains as it is, and the point comes here between 4 and 7. So 947, after dividing it by 10, the answer is 94.7. Okay, so this is our final answer. Now the third question. If the third question is similar, it is a two-digit number, 37, and there is no point. So if there is no point in the number, the point is at the end. Okay, extreme right. Now similarly, there is only one zero in 10. So this decimal point will go one place towards the left. Okay, so it will come between 3 and 7. So when it will come in between 3 and 7, the number will become 3.7. So if we divide 37 by 10, the answer is 3.7. Okay, now the fourth question. The fourth question is 53.7 divided by 10. So first I write 53.7. So there is only one zero. So this decimal point will shift one place towards the left. Okay, so after shifting one place, it will come in between 5 and 3. Okay, so the number becomes 5.3 and 7. Okay, so this is the answer. 53.7 divided by 10 is 5.37. Okay, now the fifth question. From fifth onwards, fifth, sixth, seventh and the eighth question, all these numbers are divided by 100. Okay, so in these sums we have to shift the decimal point 2 times towards the right, towards the left. Okay, because there are 2 number of zeros in 100. So let's write with what is the number? 639.2. Okay, so how many zeros are there in 100? It is divided. Okay, that is why all these sums are division sums. Okay, so if it is divided, then we have to shift the decimal point towards the left. If it is multiplied, if 10, 100 or 1000 is multiplied, we have to shift the decimal point towards the right. That we have seen in the previous class. Now we are doing only division sums. Okay, so here the decimal point is between 9 and 2. And there are how many zeros in 100? There are 2 zeros. So this decimal point will shift 2 times towards the left. Okay, so I'm shifting 2 digits. 9, this is 1 and this is 2. So where it will lie? It will lie between 6 and 3. So this number becomes 6.392. Okay, so the number 639.2 after dividing by 100 becomes 6.392. Now the next is 1.5. Okay, and 100, in 100 there are 2 zeros, so we have to shift this point 2 times towards the left or 2 digits. So but here there are no 2 digits, right? The number is what? It is 1.5. There are no 2 digits. There is only 1 digit before the decimal point. Okay, to the left of the decimal point there is only 1 digit. So if there are no digits, you can add number of zeros. Okay, see, I had told you in multiplication also, if there are no digits, if there are no numbers after the decimal point, after this number, if there are no zeros, we can add as many zeros as we want. Okay, so it doesn't make any difference if we add a number of zeros after the decimal point and before the given number. Okay, before the starting number, if we add number of zeros before the starting number, the value remains the same. And even if we add a number of zeros after the decimal point, like after this decimal point, there is 5. After 5, if I add number of zeros, if I put number of zeros in front of this, it will make no difference to the number. The number will remain 1.5 only. Okay. But if we add number of zeros here between 1 and 5, wherever, like if I add number of zeros here, it will make a difference. The number will change. Okay. Like if I add 0 after 1, it will become 10.5. But is the number 10.5? No. The number is given. The number which is given is 1.5. Okay. So adding number of zeros before the starting number and after the ending number makes no difference. After the decimal point. Okay. Not if there is no decimal point, then we cannot add. Okay. So here the number is 1.5. And if I put, so there is only 1 digit before the decimal point. So I put 2 number of zeros in front of it. Okay. So this becomes 001.5. Okay. Now how many digits are there before the decimal point to the left? There are 1, 2 and 3 digits. Okay. And from that we have to move the point to 2 digits because there are 2 zeros in this. So let's jump towards the left 1 time, 2 times. Okay. Now so it will lie between this 0 and the second 0. So this number becomes 0.015. Okay. So this number 1.5 after dividing by 100 becomes what? 0.015. Okay. This is read as 0.015. Whenever there are numbers after the decimal point, we don't read this as 0.15. Okay. We read it as 0.015. All the numbers which are there after the decimal point, we read them as a single digit. This is 392, not 392. Okay. Or 392. This is not 392. This is 392. So this is read as 6.392. This is read as 0.015. Okay, not as 0.15. 0.15 is different. So this is read as 0.015. So this is the final answer. Okay. Now the seventh one. The seventh one, the number is 9.2. Similarly, it is similar as the sixth one, that there was only 1 digit towards the left, and we had to move 2 digits towards the left because there are two zeros. Here also there is only one digit and we have to move two times because there are two zeros. So what we do? We add a number of zeros. So after adding, what we get? 009.2. Okay, I have just added two zeros before the number 9. But this number, even after adding these zeros, the number remains the same, which is 9.2. Its value does not change. Okay. Now I have to move the point towards the left by how many places? 2 places. So 1 and 2. So the number comes between these two zeros. So the answer is 0.092. Okay. So the final answer, 9.2 divided by 100 is 0.092. Understood? Now the eighth one. The eighth one is 0.341. Okay. Now here also before the decimal point there is only one digit and we have to move the decimal point by 2 digits. Okay. So what I do here also, same thing as I did in 6th and 7th problem. I have to add number of zeros in front of this. So after adding 2 zeros, this becomes 000.341. Okay. Now there are 3 digits before the decimal point, so I can shift the decimal point 2 times towards the left, right? So after shifting by 2 times, because there are 2 zeros in 100. Okay. So after shifting this by 2 times, 1, 2. So this will come, the decimal point will come here now. Okay. So the number becomes 0.00341. Okay. This is read as 0.00341, not 0.341. Okay. So this is the answer when 0.341 is divided by 100. Okay. Now the ninth question. Ninth is, now all these 9th, 10th and 11th are, these numbers are divided by 1000. Okay. So first I write the number 27.3. Okay. Now in 1000 how many zeros are there? There are 3 zeros. Okay, so we have to shift this decimal point 3 times or 3 places towards the left. But you can see in this number there are only 2 places. There are only 2 numbers, 2 and 7. Only 2 digits are there. So we need to add number of zeros here also. So if I add 2 zeros, you can add as many zeros as you want. Okay, you can add 2, 3, 4, as many you want. Okay, but 2 zeros, I guess it is enough here. Okay, so this decimal point, after shifting towards 3 times towards the left, where does it come? There are 3 zeros, so we jump 3 times towards the left. So 1, 2, 3. So it will come here between these two zeros. So the number becomes now 0.0273. Okay. So 0.0273 is the final answer. The division of 27.3 divided by 1000 is 0.0273. Okay. 3 digits towards the left. Now the 10th sum also, the number is 8.1. Okay, and there is only one digit here, and in 1000 there are 3 zeros. So we need 3 digits before, we need 3 digits before the decimal point, but there is only one digit. So we need 2 more digits. Okay, so I add 3 zeros here. Okay, why? Because you will understand. After doing this, after completing, you will understand why did I put 3 zeros instead of 2 zeros in this place. Okay. So now I have to shift this decimal point 3 times or 3 places towards the left. So this becomes, this point goes 1, 2 and 3 times. Okay. So it comes between these two zeros. So the number now becomes 0.0081. Okay. Now you can see that if I had put only 2 zeros, then in the answer again I had to put one more zero before the decimal, because the answer would come like this, 0.0081. So as it is, you had to put one more zero. So that is why I took 3 zeros, because 3 digits will go in shifting the decimal point, and the point will come at the starting. So if the point is at starting, there is a 0 before it. Okay. So this is the number after dividing 8.1 by 1000. We get 0.0081. This is not 0.81. It is 0.0081. Okay. So now the 11th, the last one, the number is 7. Okay. 7. Now, if this number is not having a decimal point, so if any number is not having a decimal point, where is its decimal point? At the end, right? So the decimal point is here. Now I have to divide this number 7 by 1000. So by how many digits do we have to shift the decimal point towards the left? 3 times, 3 digits, okay? But here, before the decimal point, there is only 1 digit. So here also, like I did in the previous sum, I will add 3 number of zeros before 7. So this becomes 0007. Okay. Now I can shift the decimal point by 3 digits. Why am I shifting it by 3 digits? Because it is divided by 1000 and 1000 has 3 number of zeros in it. Okay. That is why I am shifting 3 times towards the left. Okay. So now shifting this 1, 2 and 3 times, it comes in between these two zeros. So the number now becomes 0.007. Okay. So this is the division. 7 divided by 1000 is 0.007. Okay. So all these sums which we did today and also in our previous class are very simple. Only we don't have to get confused whether like if the numbers or if the decimal numbers are divided or multiplied by 100, 10 or 1000 like that. Okay. We don't have to practically do the division. We just have to shift the decimal points. Okay. If the numbers are divided by 10 or 100 or 1000, there is no need to do the division. Okay. We don't have to actually divide the number by 10 or by 100 or 1000. Okay. If we just move the decimal point accordingly, like as we do in division or as we do in multiplication, if you remember that, then it is very simple. Or else if you even do the division also, if you do the division, then also you will get the same answer. Okay. If you divide 7.8 by 10, normally as we do division, after doing that also you will get the same answer. Okay. So this is a trick, that is, if the numbers are divided by 10 or 100 or 1000, that is multiples of 10. If it is divided by multiples of 10, then only by shifting the decimal point towards the left, or if it is multiplied, then only by shifting the decimal point towards the right, you get the answer. Okay. It is very simple. Okay. So this was it about division. Now in our like further we have to do word problems, some word problems based on decimals. Okay. So for that, first you need to know conversions. What are conversions? So conversions means what? You have to convert a given quantity from one unit to another unit. Like if we say that length, if you have to measure the distance or the length of something, we can measure it in meters also and we can measure it in centimeters also. Okay. But if there are 3 quantities given, and out of those 3 quantities, only 2 quantities are in meters and 1 quantity is in centimeter, and if we have told to add them, so we cannot add 3 quantities having the same having different units. We need to have all the 3 quantities in the same unit. Okay. Like if there are 3 quantities, all the quantities must be in either centimeters or they have to be in meters. So we are going to study about conversions now, how to convert meters to centimeters, then kilograms to grams and all. Okay. So we will study that now. Okay. Okay. Now we see a few conversions. Conversions means if you have to convert one unit into its another unit, like the measure is same. Like if you have to measure the length or distance, then the measure is same, only its units are different. Okay. Units are different means we'll have a look at it. Okay. So if you have to measure the length or distance, okay, length or distance. So in which unit do we measure length or distance? We either measure it in meters or kilometers or meters or centimeter. Okay. We measure it in these 3 units, or we can, if the length is very small, then even we can measure it in millimeters. Okay. So these are all the units of centimeter, meter, kilometer, millimeter. All these are the units of length if we have to measure the length of something. Okay. Then the second is mass. If we have to measure mass of some object or something, then we can measure it in milligrams, grams or kilograms. Okay. So so these are the units of mass, the measure of mass. Then if you want to measure the volume of a liquid, if a liquid is given to you and if you have to measure its quantity or its volume, then we measure it in milliliter, liter or kiloliters. Okay, so these are a few conversions about how to convert one unit, like how to convert centimeters to meters. If a quantity is given to you in centimeters, then how will you convert it into millimeters? Okay, if it is given to you in centimeters, then you can even convert it to meters. Okay, so this is how you convert any given quantity, convert its unit into another unit of the same measure. Okay, you cannot convert centimeter to liters. Okay, you cannot convert a unit of some measure to a unit of different measure. Okay, like you cannot convert centimeter to liter, or you cannot convert gram to liters. Okay, for that there is another conversion of volume, but for now, for your class or for your grade, you only have these conversions within the measure. Okay, within length you can convert meters to centimeters, centimeters to kilometers and all. Okay, so that conversion we will study. So first is about length, how to convert units of length. So the first, I'll tell you, from all these, the smallest unit of length, of measuring length, is the smallest from here is millimeters. Okay, then comes centimeters. Centimeter is greater than millimeters. Then after centimeters comes meters, and after meters comes kilometers. Okay, that means millimeter is the smallest, then centimeter is second smallest. That means between first is millimeter, then is centimeter, then meter is greater than centimeter as well as millimeter, and the largest is kilometers. Okay, now, so if you have to convert centimeters to millimeters, so the first we see that 1 centimeter is equal to how much millimeters? It is equal to 10 millimeters. Okay, that means when we will join 10 millimeters together, the length will become equal to 1 centimeter. Okay, now the second, 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeter. So 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeter means what? When you will join 100 centimeter units, when 100 centimeter units come together, it will form 1 meter. Okay, now the third is 1 kilometer is equal to 1000 meters. That means when 1000 meters, this is 1000. Okay, you have to keep this in mind. 1 meter means it is 100, not 1000. Then 1 kilometer means it is 1000 meters. Okay, so these conversions are to be remembered. Okay, so 1 kilometer is 1000 meters. 1000 meters means when 1000 meter units come together, the length, total length will be equal to 1 kilometers. Okay, so whenever you have to convert a larger distance or a larger unit to a smaller unit, what do? You multiply. Okay, so if I have to convert 1 centimeter to 2 millimeters, if I have to convert a unit which is a quantity which is given to you in centimeters, and if you have to convert it to the smaller unit which is millimeter, then you will multiply it by 10. Okay, you have to multiply from going to larger to smaller. If you have to go to larger to smaller, that is, if you have to go in reverse order like this, if you have to go from centimeter to millimeter, meter to centimeter, kilometer to meter, or even if you have to go from meter to millimeter, okay, from larger to smaller if you have to go, then you need to multiply the constants. Okay, 10,000 or 100, whatever it is, you have to multiply. And if you have to go from the smaller to the larger, okay, if you have to go from millimeter to centimeter, then millimeter is small and centimeter is greater. So if you are going from the smaller to the larger, then you have to divide by these numbers. Okay, are you understanding? Small to big, then multiply. Sorry, small to big, then divide. Big to small, then multiply. Understood? So these are the constants which we need to multiply or divide by converting the units. Okay, so now the second is mass. For mass, the order is first comes milligram. Okay, milligram is first, then after milligram comes grams. G means gram, mg means milligram, and then after grams comes kilograms. Okay, so 1 gram is equal to 1000 grams, 1000 milligrams. So when 1000 milligrams of weight, if we join 1000 milligrams of mass together, then it will be equal to 1 gram. And 1 kilogram is equal to 1000 grams. That if we take together 1000 grams of weight or mass, then it will be equal to 1 kilogram. Okay. So are you all understanding this? Milligram is smaller, then gram is little larger than it, and the kilogram is the largest. So if you have to convert milligram to gram, that is from small to big, you need to divide. From big to small, you need to multiply by these constants given. Okay. We will see a few examples based on this in our next class. This is just an introduction. This is the explanation of how you convert units to other units. Okay. We will solve examples based on this the conversions in our next class. Okay. So this, you need to remember all these conversions. Okay. So this is it. Then the liter, volume of liquid. If you have to measure the volume of some liquid, then the first is milliliter. Milliliter is the smallest unit. Then comes liter, and then comes kiloliters. Okay. So if some quantity is given to you in liter, and if you have to convert it to milliliter, then you have to multiply. Liter is bigger, milliliter is smaller, so then you have to multiply it by 1000. If you have to convert milliliter to liter, then milliliter is smaller and liter is bigger. So from going from small to big, we have to divide. So we have to divide the number by 1000. Okay. Now the next 1 kiloliter is equal to how many? 1000 liters. So if you have to convert a given kiloliter value to liter value, then you will multiply it by 1000. And if you have to do the reverse of it, like if you have to convert a given liter value to its kiloliter value, then you need to divide the number by 1000. Okay. So if you go in this way, you need to divide. If you go the reverse way, then you need to multiply. Okay. So if you have to go from a smaller value to a larger value, then you divide. And if you have to go from a larger value to a smaller value, then you have to multiply. Multiply by what? By the given constants. Okay. So I'll write here for you. From small to big, from a smaller unit to a bigger unit, then you need to divide. Okay. And if it is reverse, if you have to go from a bigger unit to a smaller unit, that is from big to small, then you multiply by the constants. Okay, these are the constants. Okay, so this was it for today's class. So what did we study? How to divide decimal numbers by powers of 10, that is by 10, 100 and 1000. And then we saw what are conversions. So how to convert values which are given from one unit, how to convert that unit to some other unit. Okay, so we will meet in the next class, students. Till then, take care. Goodbye.